Hello, Scorpio, and happy birthday to all the Scorpios out there. Um, some of you may not be till November, but anyway, it doesn't hurt to tell you early. Happy birthday to my friends Darlene and Diane, November 11th, 11/11, and 11/12. Happy birthday to both of you. And this is your reading for the rest of the month of October, from October 16th until November 16th. And this is a love or relationship reading. And keep in mind, this is a general reading, so please check out my other videos for your rising sign and your moon sign. And because this is a romance reading, check if you know what sign your Venus is in, be sure to check that as well. So what I want to do right away is, in order to really make this as personal for you as possible, I want you to think of a question that you have in a relationship that you're involved with, or if you're not in a relationship and you would like to be. Just think about a question that you have about that, maybe about what's blocking you, or what you need to do or change about yourself in order to become the vibration that would attract that person. Because the final card is going to be the outcome card, and it will kind of be an answer to that question. So without further ado, let me get started. So the first card, and I'm going to show you, so don't worry. The first card is, this is how you perceive your partner. Okay, so Two of Staves. The word that's coming to me is, this is an enterprising man. But it also looks like he may be having to make a decision. And I always, when I see this card, because the one stave is behind him on the land, and then the other stave is in front of him, where he's kind of looking out over the ocean, and he's holding the globe in his hand. This always kind of gives me the idea that your partner may be somebody who is in business, and that just came to me, that who's having to make a decision about whether to stay where he's at or whether to move to another location, perhaps to be closer to you. And then I picked another card just to kind of clarify this situation. And so remember, this is in relation to how you see your partner. And the King of Pentacles is someone who is a very down-to-earth guy, and he tends to really kind of have his stuff together when it comes to earning a living. He tends to be very solid with finances and really taking care of business when it comes to finances. And if you are a single Scorpio, it may be that this is the kind of person that you're actually looking for. And maybe you're actually looking for a guy who has the kind of business that allows him to travel. Maybe you want to travel with him. You know, for some of you that's the case. But you're looking for someone who is financially stable. With, Pentacles usually are, people who are very stable. They're very down-to-earth people. Now, the next card I pulled is, this is what it looks like upright, but it came in the reverse position. So Six of Pentacles. And because it came in the reverse position, how your partner sees you, the feeling that I get with this is that You know, when it's upright, this is kind of a give and take. There's a steady flow of money in and money going out. And there's, you know, you can see there's the scales are in this picture. Look at the scales. This is balance. This is equity, fairness. But the fact that it came in the reverse position is kind of telling me that maybe your partner feels like things are not really so balanced and equal in your relationships. And because there's pentacles here, it may actually be in terms of finances and money that your partner may feel like there's kind of an imbalance, um, and he may be feeling the pressure to provide more financially because there's not a balance there. And it could be in other areas of the relationship as well, that he may feel that, you know, you're not really um, giving as maybe as much as you could be, or what he would like you to, or she. It could go either way. The next card is your needs in the relationship. And wow, when I saw this card, right away, my thought is your needs are definitely not being handled. You're either bored, or whatever you're getting in this relationship is, you know, maybe it's something you thought you wanted, but now you're kind of like apathetic, bored. Maybe you're thinking, you know, what did I actually see in this person? Um, so it's showing me definitely whatever your needs are, they're not being met. What you thought you needed, you're not getting, or maybe your needs have changed. Maybe you thought this person was one person, and then, you know, now you're starting to realize, what did I see in this person? And your partner's needs in the relationship. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is someone who is really, she's come to terms with herself emotionally. She's done a lot of the work, the shadow work, working on her childhood issues, whatever they may be. Now, keep in mind, this could be a man or a woman in this reading, because this is a general reading. But in the position that it's your partner's needs in the relationship. So this is saying your partner needs you to be this person, this woman who, this or person who can really share and give of herself emotionally, can really open up emotionally, and really kind of wear her heart on her sleeve. Why? She can do that. She can be vulnerable because she's strong. She knows that, you know, she doesn't take things personally. She doesn't get triggered emotionally by things because, you know, something that happened to her when she was 5 years old, because she's dealt with that. She's dealt with that stuff. And so this card is saying this is who your partner needs you to be in the relationship. So check with yourself, you know, are you that person? And also, I'm reminded to say something too about these cards, and this is particularly for somebody, you know, if you're single and you're looking for this guy who's really good with money, he's really financially stable, and it looks like almost like somebody who has his own business. Um, And remember, I said this is how you see your partner or your potential partner. So if you're looking for a relationship and this is where you're actually at, you're in other words, you're in a position where things are not going so well financially. You know, you got to realize, if you want to attract this, you have to be this. You've got to get your financial stuff together in order to attract a person, because most men, or most people who are financially stable, they actually seek partners who are the same. They want, if they're financially responsible, they generally want a partner who's also financially responsible, because they don't want to just, be with a partner who is going to be careless with money. Okay, so moving on, and in the next position, fifth position, this is the current uh, state of the relationship, and it is the seven of staves, but it came up in the reverse. So when it comes up upright, it's kind of, there's fighting, struggle going on, um, but because it came up in the reverse, this to me is like the fighting is over, like, and what I'm hearing is like giving up. And for some of you who are single, that's what I'm hearing, is that you've just given up because you've kind of said, you know what, relationships are just too much work. And I got to tell you, if you feel like relationship is too much work, it's there's some things that you're missing. There's some emotional work that you need to do, and also some behaviors that you need to change. And there, I can hear you. I can hear you right now saying, "See, I told you it's too much work. I don't want to have to change. I don't want to have to." But really the growth is about you. It's about making your life better. It's not so much about the other person. It's about you. And when you make that, when you grow and evolve spiritually, everything gets easier, including your romantic relationships. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, doing a bunch of work. And it makes sense, because the next card that came up is the path that you want the relationship to follow. Again, this makes sense with what I just said and what I just saw in this card. Is, it's too much work. The high priestess in the reverse. Normally when she's upright, she's very on psychically. She's very this is a very spiritually evolved person. But she came up in the reverse, and what my feeling with that was right away when I saw this was that you don't really want to. You're like, can't this just be easy? Can't we just, like, go to a movie and just, why do I have to do all this spiritual development crap? I mean, I really feel that some of you are really kind of thinking that way. Like, why do I have to do all this work? And again, I pulled a clarifying card as well, the Four of Swords. Now, normally upright, the Four of Swords means, this is a time of rest. This is a time when you need to, like, take a rest, spend more time at home, just get rest and stop, stop trying to distract yourself. Because it came up in the reverse, and that's what I was getting with this, is that rather than tuning into your natural psychic and intuitive abilities, you're trying to distract yourself by doing, going, always thinking, always up in your head, because there's a part of you that doesn't, and this may be a very unconscious thing, by the way. I'm like, because most people would never choose consciously to shut down their psychic abilities and intuition. Although some of you may say, oh, heck yeah, it scares the crap out of me. But it's mostly an unconscious thing, is what I'm feeling. But we all have to deal with that shadow side in order to really have good relationships. So the path that your partner would like the relationship to take. Wow, here's another one. The Eight of Swords. This is someone who has really tied themselves up mentally because of their thoughts and their beliefs and their points of view about things. They've really got themselves tied up. And then I pulled a clarifying card, which is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This is someone who's trying to balance things, who's really trying, and yet because it came up in the reverse, this is someone who kind of doesn't, who kind of wants to stay in a way. Now, I know it's crazy to say this, but you know, some people on an unconscious level do want, or at least unconsciously, they want to stay tied up like this mentally because they don't want to have to make a decision, you see. As long as I'm confused, as long as I'm overwhelmed, right? I have perfectly good excuses for not making a decision, for not making a choice. And that's what they're saying. This is where kind of where your partner is kind of wanting to be right at the moment, if you're partnered up. Okay, and the next position is aspects of the relationship that you need to consider. Now, what came up is the Emperor. The Emperor, this is someone who rules, this is what I heard. This is someone who rules with an iron hand. Structure, control. And so what I'm feeling with that is that maybe there are some of you, because of your upbringing, what you're used to is someone who was very controlling and things were very structured. And what the other clarifying card that came up was the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles is like this feeling of being left out in the cold, of being abandoned. Could be emotionally, could be financially, just kind of left out and lonely. And it came up in reverse. So what I'm getting with that is that there may be some of you who need to have someone who is a very strong masculine, you know, and being controlling, actually, I know it's gotten a bad rap, but men are naturally controlling. Are there times when you need to be in control? Absolutely. And men are very good at being in control, taking control of a situation. And sometimes having a strong masculine partner can make you feel less abandoned, less out in the cold. You know, you can actually feel more secure when you have that kind of person. So just, you know, just see if that resonates for you. Now, for the question, for the outcome, I hope you all had a question that you asked earlier in the reading, because here's the answer. The Temperance card. And boy, isn't this just what we're all looking for? This is balance. This is about having balance in a relationship. Balance between the masculine and the feminine, both within our relationship and within ourselves. You know, I know a lot of women have a problem with that because a lot of us women were raised to be very, very masculine, especially if you grew up in an environment where there was abuse, whether it's sexual or other types of abuse. Really, what happens is we become very masculine energy, very controlling energy, because literally we needed to in order to, you know, try to control our environment because we were in an environment that was not safe. So we became hyper controlling, hyper vigilant. Oftentimes we grow up unable to sleep at night because maybe something bad happened one time when we did fall asleep. Something really bad happened and it gets stuck in our little nervous system. and even as adults, we still can't let go of the control. And I don't know, I just feel called to say to you that sometimes giving up that control and of course, you know, to be able to find a man with whom you can kind of let down your guard enough because you know that this person loves you and that the way that he's exerting control is in a positive way. Because this, when this comes up in the reverse, this is somebody who's controlling in a very negative way. But because it came up upright, this is a very positive type of control, of structure. And this is the kind of control and structure that can make you feel safe. I don't know why I went off on a rant about the abuse and stuff, but I was just prompted to do so. But this is what you want. And so the answer to your question is a yes. But this is, you know, the factor. You need to find balance. And that's going, they're just saying that's going to require doing a lot of inner child work, which I do, by the way, with my clients. Because I pulled some clarifying cards because the lovers came up, and this tends to be like the soulmate card, but it came up in the reverse. It's like you have the potential for this relationship to be a soulmate relationship, but right now it hasn't yet evolved to that because you really need this balance. And again, the sun, I pulled another card to clarify. The sun in reverse. The sun is a wonderful card. This is happiness. This is, look, there's your little inner child right there. Happy. Didn't I just say you needed to do some inner child work? But it came up in the reverse. So the sun is never a bad card. So what this is telling me is that, yeah, you have this potential to really heal that inner child. But there's some work that is going to need to be done so that you can attain this balance. Okay, so there you have it, Scorpio. I hope that you really got something out of this reading. Remember, it's general. So if you have some very particular questions that you need to have answered, in the description below this video, it's going to take you to a page where you can actually book a private reading with me. So, Scorpio, until next month, I'll see you in the next video.